Following extensive renovations and remodeling of its permanent exhibits, the National Music Museum is set to showcase several new galleries next weekend during a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Joining me now is Dwight Vaught, the director of the museum, to walk us through what visitors can expect next weekend in Vermillion. Good afternoon, Dwight.
Good afternoon.
Just kind of go ahead and detail for me what is kind of next Saturday's agenda.
Well, if people know about the National Music Museum in Vermillion, it's one of the world's largest and most prestigious collections of musical instruments. And so we've been closed for about 5 years as we added on to the building and took a fresh look at how we're going to tell the stories of how we use musical instruments in our lives. So we've been closed longer than we anticipated, but next weekend on August 26th, we're having a community ribbon cutting and reopening ceremony for the first phase of a two-phase reopening, and that's reopening all of our first floor galleries on Saturday afternoon.
And so you mentioned that it's been 5 years since you guys have been open. Yeah. What can people expect if they were there 5 years ago that's going to be new?
Everything is going to be new, actually. We've got some new spaces, we've got some new staff, and really it's just about how we showcase the instruments themselves. So if people had been to the National Music Museum in years past, we've been formed since 1973, so we've got a lot of followers. They were set up in a particular way, and things have changed in the museum world, and patron expectations have changed, and collection management has changed in the museum world, and so we needed to take a fresh look at it. So everything has been changed. It's completely different. It's really a bold approach to showcasing our collection. So if you had any idea of what it used to look like from 1973 to 2018, forget about that. It is looking completely different.
Kind of walk me through what the excitement level is going into this, and then also kind of what time if people are hoping to come out.
Sure. Well, we just can't wait for it to be done. I mean, our staff has been working for this for a long time. So we have 7 new galleries in the first floor that we're reopening, and under the overarching title of the use of musical instruments in our lives, each gallery focuses on a different theme or a different idea. So how we use music and musical instruments, music in the home, music and spirituality, music as arts and crafts, music as innovation, music in the concert hall. And so we're just taking a look at the whole revolution of how musical instruments have changed and how people have adapted them into the various circumstances into our lives.
And just real quick before we go here, tell me a little bit about you. What makes you passionate about this and being able to tell that story?
Well, my background is music. I'm a musician by trade, but really that's not the important thing. We're not just appealing to musicians. You know, honestly, the people who designed the museum that we're opening, our designers have said, we want to create a museum for the streaker, the stroller, and the scholar. So if somebody has just a few minutes, they can come in and they can grab a piece of inspiration. If they have a little bit more time and they want to spend an hour or two, or maybe if they're a really deep scholar and they want to really study, you know, time and history and place and people and connections. So there's something really for everybody, whether a musician or not. But you know, most families, music has touched their lives in some way. Most of us grew up on going through public school and playing in the band, singing in the choir, doing something. Whether we chose to do that for our life or not, it's still a very meaningful part of almost all of us. So that's what we want to appeal to.
Thank you, Dwight. I appreciate you coming in today. He mentioned 26th, this coming Saturday is the ribbon cutting ceremony. The full museum opens up on the 30th. We'll be right back.